gypsy jazz lick that we can do as Spanish guitarists way easier than they do it. But first, check out what Borelli-Lagreen is doing in this video. This is a really great gypsy jazz diminished lick. It's really hard to do with a pick, but we can cheat as nylon string guitarists and make it way, way easier and really give the illusion that all the stuff is happening when really not much is really happening at all. But let's check this out. If we play, for example, a D7 shape, and you've seen that before, that is all we need to move 3 frets around and get the sound of diminished. Now, we need to know a little bit more about theory about where to place this, and we'll talk about that in a second. But what's happening here, if we did have a pick, I'm gonna use my thumb as if I had a pick. This is what he was doing in that video. He's playing an upstroke on the first string, and then on the third string, downstroke and resting it, downstroke, resting it, and then a downstroke, and we're out of string. So it's a group of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Super hard to get that fast with a pick. But if you're fast with your thumb, you could do that. But it takes a long time to get that nice and fast. And by the way, this is 4 notes that are completely even, so you don't hear this over those swing songs that have a shuffle rhythm. This song, Bossa Dorada, was going just a straight 4/4 time thing, and he's going 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. So that's what they're doing with the pick. Up, down, down, up, up. Now, as nylon string guitarists, we could also go like this. Up with your index finger, and then go thumb, down, down, down. And that's one way to do this. But even that takes a little bit more dexterity and speed. What I'm gonna do is just take a note out and play triplets like this. Thumb, index, middle, and go like this. So I'm kind of got all my fingers down and I'm peeling them off one at a time. Thumb, index, and middle like that. Okay, how do we know where to put this? You need to know a little bit of music theory for that. But if we have a dominant 7th chord resolving to probably a minor chord, but it really doesn't have to, it could resolve to a major chord, but it has a minor flavor to it. We need to know what the name of that chord is and where a couple of the notes are. So here's an E7 chord, and if you know what any of the notes are in E7, you can launch this shape from any of those notes except the root. So the notes of an E7 chord are E, G sharp, B, and D. So I can move this around until I hit any one of those 3 notes that I just said. Okay, here's a G sharp, here's a B note, here's a D note. Now E won't work, it needs to be 1 fret up from E, which is a flat 9. So the magic of the diminished 7th thing is that we move 3 frets at a time. Nothing's really happening here harmonically, but there's a sense of all this motion happening and drama, and it's a pretty cool kind of trick because it's completely symmetrical. It's kind of just target practice. You gotta get used to it going 3 frets up, move the same shape around. This is what you have to be able to do first before you arpeggiate it. Okay, let's throw the arpeggios in now. 3 frets up or 3 frets down? Let's do 2 times for each shape. Now let's do 1, and we have to move a lot faster. So 1 time each shape. If you're not comfortable going that far, just do 2 of them at a time. So it sounds so fancy and so difficult, but it really is not hard at all. Hardest part is aiming it in the right place. And eventually I'll end up back down on an A minor chord. So let's take a song like Dark Eyes and see what this sounds like. So Dark Eyes has A7 over and over and over. So A7, there's that chord that we're gonna do the diminished thing from. Then it goes to D minor. Then it goes back to A7 again. Then it goes to B flat major or B flat 6. Then we have G minor 6. Then D minor again. A7, and then back to D minor. So in this example, every time that it goes to a chord that isn't A7, I'm just gonna play a little block chord of whatever the chord is, and then when A7 rolls around, I'll go back into that diminished trick. That's what that sounds like if we use the diminished chord idea, but we also can play it over every single chord just to get more mileage out of it. Like I said, you don't want to keep doing it forever, but if we did this, for example, on D minor, we're in the key of D minor in Dark Eyes, I would have these notes. Those are in the key. This is not a diminished arpeggio, but I can go like this. And I'm just playing some notes from the scale on the highest string, right? We can do the same thing on G minor, just play that little triad there and just add some notes. Those are consistent with the key also. Over B flat major 6, we could play this. Looks like a D minor chord, but it's kind of like a B flat major 7. Some notes from the key here. Back to G minor. Now let's see what this sounds like if I just keep this lick idea rolling all the way through the progression of Dark Eyes. That is our Gypsy Jazz lick applied in an easier way to nylon string guitar. This whole idea of the diminished 7th chord moving 3 frets at a time across the neck, there's so many applications to that in so many ways. Here we're just talking about one specific way to do it. It's something that very much has a Spanish sound to it and certainly a hallmark of Gypsy Jazz. And if you're new to playing Gypsy Jazz on nylon string guitar, check out this video where I run through all the rhythms and techniques you need.